welcome to the Town of Eastchester Architectural Review Board meeting of October 7th. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, if you would, roll call.
Sure. Laurel Gaffney.
Here.
Silvio Luca.
Here.
Laura Raffiani.
Here.
And Tony Mestrola and Adam Beltran will be absent this evening.
Alrighty. And I believe that the approval of the June 5th meeting minutes or the September 4th are applicable.
Well, we have 3 months to review, but we don't have a quorum of the board, of the members of the board who are at any of those minutes. So I think we should table all the reviews of the minutes until the November meeting. So that would be May, June, and September.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to move those to the next meeting.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty. So then, first up on our agenda tonight is application 25-61, Siwanoy Country Club at 1 Siwanoy Clubway. Welcome.
How you doing tonight? My name's Frank.
Could you please use the mic?
I can't hear you.
Could you please use the microphone? Thank you.
How you doing tonight? My name's Frank.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. You can pick it up and move
That's
to the
fine.
plan if you like.
Cool. Okay, so we're here to discuss the addition to the halfway house at Siwanoy Country Club. For those who may be unfamiliar with the property, this is a copy of the survey. This is the building here, which is located pretty much smack in the middle of the course. Our nearest residence is something just a little less than maybe about 1,000 feet from the structure. We are discussing tonight the addition of 8 feet off the west end of the building, which would be towards the front yard of the country club. This is a picture of the structure as it stands now. This is a kind of a rendering of what it will look like. The 8 feet will be extended 16 feet across the back of the west end of the building to allow for ADA bathrooms and a newly updated kitchen, as the building is probably at least 50 years old right now and kind of needs some attention. The building will pretty much look as it does now in terms of a service window at the front, restroom entrances at the side, and a covered roof at the perimeter to allow people to access the concessions and the bathrooms in the event of weather. One important detail to mention is the current roof height is now 18 feet. We will be lowering that to 15 feet, which will greatly reduce the visual impact on the structure. So we hope that will be pleasing to the surrounding neighbors and anyone else who may be able to actually view the building. Beyond that, the aesthetics, which we'd like to show you, will be matching the current clubhouse, which is a white stucco finish, black windows and doors, and similar sconce structures, maybe just a little bit smaller to accommodate the building. There will be a flagstone patio in the front, which there is now. It will just be redone to match the existing condition with a black shingle roof, which is pretty much typical of the neighborhood. Beyond that, the use will stay exactly the same. So if anyone has any questions as to what it may look like or what its impact may be about, I'd be happy to speak to those.
From what I've heard, I'm not a golfer, but my husband is, it pretty much is kind of hidden away,
You'd
this building.
be
You
very
really
hard
don't-
pressed to see it.
Yeah, okay. So are there any homes that actually see it, or Are there folks here from the neighborhood? No? Yes?
You,
Okay.
it'd be really, really difficult
Okay.
from my understanding of the property and the time that I've spent there.
Anyone else have any questions or comments regarding the building?
I mean, the only comment I had is that I didn't see anything about if there was going to be any exterior lighting on it, or is it just not?
Yeah,
used?
there will be some sconces
Okay.
because at night, you know, you're gonna have to illuminate it. But beyond that, no.
Okay,
You know, this is for use during the day. The club's
Yeah.
pretty much closed at night.
yep.
So after they go to us, they will go to the planning board?
Correct.
So if you could, on the submission to the planning board, indicate where those lights will be and put a cut sheet in for the,
For the lighting, yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, we
okay.
could select sconces for the
Okay.
planning board
And
by
then-
that time.
And then, just so that we know what we're approving. I guess pretty much it. So then, I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing for application 25-61.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone here that would like to comment or make a question or whatever? Please come forward, give us your, to the mic, yes?
Microphone, yeah.
Absolutely, and name and address, please.
I came last week, last meeting, and I was told that there was also some abatement things that were in the plans, because
So,
I
yeah, so-
actually gave you my name, and like I told you, the communication with that club is terrible.
okay, I will
I've
have,
sent emails and letters and phone calls, even went to try to visit the manager, and they didn't even respond.
so there are currently 2 applications for Siwanai Country Club pending before the boards. There's this one for this is just a minor amendment to the halfway house
I
station.
have no problem with.
Yeah, so then there's another application currently before the Zoning Board of Appeals, which will come before this board if the variances requested are granted, to renovate and construct some additional maintenance buildings, and I think that's the application that you're
Is
commenting on.
that tonight as well?
So that one's not tonight. This one is just for this small structure near the.
When would that one be?
So that one is scheduled for determination by the zoning board at its October 14th meeting, and then it would proceed to the planning board after that if the variances
So
are
it's
granted.
here on the 14th?
Yes, but it won't be a hearing, it'll just be for
Okay.
decision, and then it will go to the plan, come to this board for architectural review, likely November 6th,
November 6th.
and then to the planning board after that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for being interested
Yeah.
in everything.
property where the water comes cascading down every storm.
Understood. Understood. Okay, so is there anyone else from the neighborhood or the audience here that would like to speak about this application? So then I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing for application 25-61.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All righty. And then I'd like to make a motion to refer application 2561, Siwanai Country Club Halfway House, to the planning board with a recommendation to approve, subject to the inclusion of the lighting on your renderings and a cut sheet with that submission. All in favor?
Aye.
A second.
Second.
I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Very good.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. And next up on our agenda this evening, we have application 25-09 for 80 Park Avenue.
name is Milot Shala. My name is spelled M-I-L-O-T, first name, last name is S-H-A-L-A. I'm the project architect for 80 Park Avenue. Alongside with the engineer, Elliot Senor, we designed the site and the reconstruction of the existing home at 80 Park Avenue. We're showing some photographs on our first page that show the existing conditions of the home. And we made every conscious effort with the owner, Bernard, sitting here, to repair the existing home. But we found that most of the walls were actually leaning by many degrees. The house was not square, plumb, and level, and it was just dilapidated. So Bernard and his wife, Diana, bought the home a year ago, roughly about 10, 11 months ago, and they hired me to basically look at the existing conditions as best we can, but then we determined that we can't save the home. So we elected to go with essentially reconstruction and expansion of the existing volume and the bulk at the rear yard as well as at the front yard, and were granted variances with respect to the front yard. With the front yard variance, we matched the existing footprint, if you will, at the front where we have the front porch, and we were successful in matching that. However, we expanded the front porch horizontally towards the left. So the proposal you see here below on the rendering shows the front porch extended, and we added a terrace above the front porch, which will allow for some nice French doors from bedrooms to come out into a terrace at the front yard. And then I'll show the rear yard as well. We have a terrace at the rear yard as well, and which was actually covering a roof veranda. So I will move on to the next pages that show the proposed design. So these views here show, again, I'll just reiterate, the front yard with the federal style colonnade with a terrace over the front porch. And then moving on to the rear yard, we carry a similar theme with a roof veranda. So you'll see here the roof veranda has a similar type language, a typology to the front yard as well, with respect to Federalist architecture, and we cleaned it up a little bit with modernist interpretation of some of the details. We have this expression of these, if you will, these fascias that have some references to traditional type crowns, if you will, in the building, and everything else is sort of reduced to minimal detail, as per the preference of Diana and Bernard. So as to the roof shape, we elected to go with a simple shed roof that will have a skylight here, and the finish will be matte black on the metal roof. It's a standing seam metal roof, 24-inch on center. So with respect to finishes, I have some samples here. We have wood veneer for a rain screen system, which is a walnut wood veneer cladding at both accents, at both corners of the home. At the front yard is accenting the texture and the color. We picked up some of the dark tones from the Tudor homes in the neighborhood. So this is what we came back with this darker finish for the corner, which is reflected on the opposite side of the building, at the rear here as well. And predominantly the building will be clad in stucco, cementitious stucco, with a light bone white color. The base of the building will be the granite sample we have here, and the pattern will be the square and rect pattern, which I have a sample here. So this will be in like a square and rectangular type composition. For the plinth, if you will, the plinth or the base of the building will be a stone plinth, and then the rest will be stucco with wood cladding with metal on top. The roof will not be actually experienced so much from the street level. It will mostly be seen from the building behind us. We have an apartment building directly behind us. So those neighbors would see the black roof, which is, we believe it's a very subtle roof. Typically, we would go with a light silver roof to remove the heat island effect during the summer, but because we're worried about the people living in an apartment building, we didn't want to reflect the sun so much onto the building, so we went with a subtle matte black roof. But that's the finish on the roof, and everything else is just basically, these are trim details with basically plastic details on the column enclosures, and that's basically the material composition of the project.
What are the are they black windows?
Yes, the owner elected to go with the black, matte black windows. At this juncture, we have Marvin windows. These are 6 foot square. So this square is repetitious. I'll just show you the elevations. So show you the elevation views, so I can show you the composition of windows. We tried to keep a very simple shape for the windows that repeats itself at the side yard as well. So you can see here that this same shape here repeats at the picture window at the second floor, so we have another picture here, and then these become French doors that have the same width. Then we also have a 6 foot by 6 foot composition down here as well. So each elevation is predominantly comprised of this 6 foot square linear type design. So I guess if I were to interpret this, it would be a clean line design of a simple form, repetitive throughout the house. And it happens to coincide very nicely with interior spaces as well. We have some interior views that show just some of the moments. Can you see?
Are they, sorry, are the windows casement windows, or are they?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
All windows will be casement.
Mhm.
At the bedrooms, we had to deal with the emergency escape
Yeah.
area of 5.7 square feet, so we elected to go with casements for ease of escape for, in a fire or smoke event. So it worked very nicely. So we'll have a composition I'll give you an example here, so let me just go back to the elevations quickly. So where we have the 6 foot square composition, you have a fixed window as well on the transom. So you have 2 casements and a fixed window at the transom above.
Yeah, do they all have the transoms? I was noticing one of the elevations, it looks like they don't have them, but the other ones, it looks like they do. I just was
Right.
curious.
So I'll make it so you can see this elevation has transoms.
Yeah,
Then you have.
it's
Yeah.
those that don't, yeah.
However, these below here, these are kitchen windows, so we need for these to be at 4 foot elevation above the counter, another,
Mm-hmm.
6 to 9 inches. And this one here is a elongated rectangle of a fixed picture window just for the stair tower.
Okay.
And let's see, at the rear yard, we have a large sliding glass front, which is 18 feet wide. The sliding glass front has a fixed panel, biparting panel, and a fixed panel. So it's a large 18-foot by 10-foot
Mm-hmm.
glass front, if you will, which will, that's serving to bring the daylight into the great room or the family room and the dining room.
Is that on the rear elevation?
Correct, yes, absolutely. So you can see this rendering here. This is the view towards the rear. This shows that 18-foot by 10-foot sliding glass front.
So those all slide out? They're those,
Only 2 panels. So
only 2 panels,
they
okay.
bipart in the center,
Mm-hmm.
and there's 2 fixed panels on both sides, and then just the 2 in the center they bipart.
Okay.
And we'll have an insect screen as well coming down. But most of the large glazing pieces are towards the rear yard. So you can see the sliding glass front here, where the man is pointing here. So this is basically where that door will open. I have him in an open position so you can see. So
Mhm.
the man is pointing with his finger. This is actually where the doors are biparted.
Yeah.
And there will be a skylight on the roof as well, as I noted. That's just to eliminate the stair, the grand stair. So this will be the stair in the interior. That's the light from the fixed picture light and the skylight as well.
And then what's happening with the spiral stair outside? Is that?
Right, so the spiral stair would be connecting the terrace at the rear yard.
Mhm.
That's more so just for an emergency escape. If we want to have another route for escape in a smoke event,
Mhm.
we would have the opportunity to come down to open the French doors from each bedroom,
Mhm.
and then come down the spiral stair, which is at the underside of the wood deck above.
Okay, and
It's
what color, is that, what color, finish color is that? It looks like it's kind of decorative, like it's,
So as we have it rendered right now, because of facets on the rendering, it looks like it's lighter gray, but it will be almost like a dark matte black. This will be the finish here.
Or like the roof?
Mhm.
I'm sorry?
Like the roof color?
Correct, yes, I
Okay.
apologize, yes. So it will be similar, I have a sample here. So this would be the matte black.
Could you hand the samples up to us so we
Yes,
can
of
take a
course.
look at them?
Yeah, you just, I know it's hard with all those samples, but if you could use the mic too, because we have a transcript made of the meeting, and the microphone allows the stenographer to hear.
So that's the wood cladding, that's the wood decking, so I'm sorry, that's the wood facade rain screen cladding. And the next sample is the wood decking for the terraces, both front and rear yard. The next would be the brochure for the matte black roof. And this is a heavy piece. So this granite is the base, the foundation wall cladding will be clad on the granite sample we have here.
Okay.
And this will be the pattern, the square and rect panel, which is on this page. This is the decking for the veranda. So this one is also heavy. So let's drop it in if you can, please. Thank you, sorry.
That's okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Bernard. Thank you. You can stay here if you want. And this is just a catalog showing the rain screen system. This wood panel is manufactured, it's fabricated in Spain. I've used it for a number of other projects. It's a very successful rain screen system. It should last for many years.
That's the wood, the big wood sample.
Correct,
you gave
yes.
us, right?
That'll be the walnut wood
And
sample.
so what are the seams like on that system? Are there any, how big are the
Thank you.
panels?
Yes, thank you. So the last project I did, we were successful in cutting 10-foot tall by 5-foot wide panels. They do send the ship on a special truck, and we actually had to lay them flat and then cut them up to size for the project. The last one I did was Larchmont Pharmacy. The crown in Larchmont Pharmacy is that material in a lighter color. But I stood there with a carpenter, and we measured everything, so we cut the side. But 10 feet is what I kind of appreciate, because our I guess the height of the interior is 10 feet, so we're going to have a contiguous vertical shape without any lines. So it's going to be a very minimal, clean shape.
Okay.
At 5-foot centers with
But there are places where it's 2 floors high, right?
correct. So my wish is to get away with 10-foot panel from, I guess, the deck level here to the underside of ceiling, which is 10 feet, and another 10-foot panel from here to there. So I think I may be able to accomplish that.
But on the side, there's no brown, or yes, there is?
Yes, so, yes, to your point.
Oh, but there's that crown molding in between.
Correct. So then
Okay.
we may be able to sort of, connect the crown with somehow we can have like a shadow mold, maybe a 3/4 inch shadow mold between the rain screen system and the crown, to see if we can separate these two materials with maybe a black.
Because
You-
two
you
of your
don't see-
elevations don't show the crown coming around on the side, so is there on that, like, on the top right and the bottom right, along that side, there's no,
Oh, well, maybe,
From there?
maybe it's intentionally this side, actually, we want to wrap this part. So let me show the front view. That's actually with intent. So we want to envelop the rain screen system with, so you can see here, this view. We intentionally want to envelop the rain screen system to create this, to sort of break the composition of a large form with a crown. It was just a design moment that we want to introduce this. I guess the interlocking materials there, so, because this is a contiguous piece of glass, we just wanted to break it a little bit with a crown.
And then,
So
So
again,
what-
like I said at the beginning, this is a modernist interpretation of Federalist architecture with some modernism included with respect to materials and finishes and forms. Prior we had a simple white stucco building. So the consensus became there's just too much white. It was just white everywhere, white crowns. We tried to even like bring in some black, like dark columns. That became a big, gimmicky, if you will. So now we try to come up with something more graceful, timeless, that has still predominant white color, but we want to bring in some of the dark Tudor colors from the neighborhood with a rain screen cladding system. So this will be the difference between when we started versus where we are now with respect to design.
what is the number on the plan of that page?
Oh, this is 0.20.
0120.
I have too many pages.
I think it's A0.20.
And the name of the page is rendering.
Got it, okay. So, in looking at the lower right-hand image, on the side where the chimney is,
Yes.
there will be a seam somewhere on those panels, right? On the brown panels, somewhere that has to,
So you are correct, yes. So there will be a line in between the 10-foot tall panels, to your point,
Right.
yes.
okay.
So that, I think the way that we've done these installations in the past, we've put black felt behind the rain screen system. So where we have a control joint between the two panels, you only see the black felt behind the vapor barrier.
It
So
disappears.
It will
really.
disappear, it'll be completely black. If you drive by Larchmont Pharmacy, you'll see all the lines there. The background is all black. That's what we did there exactly.
Okay.
So you'll see a 1-inch black line at most.
Which is very close to the color of what it is anyway. So
Correct.
it won't be very discernible. Sylvia, do you have any questions regarding this?
Yeah, a couple. Drainage, how's the roof drain?
So the roof drains are shown on the rendering. Here you see one drain at this juncture at the lower point of the roof, which is
It's like an integral gutter on the roof, like a Yankee gutter in a sense?
correct. Yankee gutter, yes, sir.
And then how about the balconies?
Oh, the
Balconies?
balconies, they'll go into a column enclosure. So we have the column enclosure here, so a typical, gutter would go inside the column enclosure, and then below.
Material is this for the decking, you said?
So the terrace decking at both front and rear yard will be the sample you're holding.
And what's below it?
So it will be the granite sample on the terrace.
No, I mean, this is almost like a decking system, no?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, that's the decking system.
So the water goes through it?
Yes, it will go through so we'll have the scupper system inside the wood structure. We use this when we do like these new wood decks. You can buy it at Home Depot. It's like an orange colored scupper system that goes 16 inches inside the floor joist, and it goes to a gutter system down the 6-inch SDR to drainage, to Cultex.
So you're having something between the framing to catch the water so it doesn't go
Correct.
through?
Correct, yes. They're integral drainage systems that channel the water, slope down toward about 2 to 3% towards the gutter inside the column enclosure, and then goes down to drainage system.
So it's all hidden.
It's all concealed. You will not see it.
The cornices, what's the material on that?
So the sample, we're showing the sample now because we were going to go with stucco, but we thought that there's just too much stucco. So we just want to change the material from stucco to any type of
AZAC kind of?
AZAC
So
type.
you're gonna frame that all out like that?
Yeah. So because we thought that stucco has too much texture, and we thought it would be too much of it, and
Yeah,
one
well,
of the
it kind of reads like ephes if it
it
was
does,
stucco.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
The railings are what material?
So this would be it.
The railing.
Oh, the railing, excuse me. The railing would be powder-coated aluminum, gunmetal gray or black, so we're still deciding on those. It will be definitely very close to black to match the windows. So all thin details will match the windows. So the thin accents would have a darker color versus larger planes will have lighter colors.
Did you ever consider, I like modern houses, sometimes between a 1940 neighborhood, it's difficult.
It's absolutely. So
I mean, I like, the way these drawings are, the perspectives, like, I like the rear elevation more so than the front elevation.
rear, okay, basically.
I'm thinking, if you're gonna go modern, because to me, this is a modern house. It's not a federal house with some modern elements. It's the opposite, all right? So, like, if you're gonna go for it, go for it. So my opinion on the front elevation, because right now, honestly, it kind of the elements, the materials are nice, but it reads almost like a commercial 2-story building, because the balcony goes all the way across, the roof line's the same line. One thing what I would do is the walnut material on the front elevation, that cornice is the same height, that should come higher than the stucco. So that element reads higher, so it breaks up this linear line across the roof. You understand what I mean?
I think I'm following you. I think
And also, if there's any way, I understand the first floor balcony because you have the entry, you have, the staircase and all that. But and I know the intention is to have a door off of every bedroom to the balcony.
That's right.
But that whole linear second floor balcony, I just think, again, it looks more commercial than residential. So if there's a way of breaking that somehow, not the same plane, or maybe, something, I don't know if it's the stucco side is lower or higher, and then maybe it's a different material and you step down to the next level, or maybe it gets eliminated
I see.
on
now.
one door. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah. You're just more worried about this composition here, how this is.
Yeah, I mean, because the side elevations, I like. I would even, to be honest, again, if you're gonna go for it, as long as there's no neighbor objections. Like the pitch of the roof, you have what, a 1-2 pitch?
It's 4/12.
That's a 412, it doesn't read like a 412, but I would even, because the house in the layout that you show both homes next to it, it's considerably lower because it's a
Oh,
flat
yes,
roof.
the intent was
Right.
for our house to be lower than the neighboring homes.
Right, but I think, even having a little bit more of a pitch might help you.
Sure.
And also, like I said again, on the front elevation, the walnut rain screen, if that breaks the soffit. You have to look at, in that rendering, it's hard to see. You have to look at,
Yeah, I'll have to show you.
the straight-on elevation, let's
Yeah,
say.
let me show you the elevation view. I think I'm on.
Because if your angle was, if you had a more of a bird's eye angle on the front elevation, you would understand what I mean. Yeah, so where you have that walnut on the second level, where you have the 6-foot fixed window and then the door, that cornice, I would raise, above, the second floor roof line. Yeah,
Oh, I see.
I would bring that like a
Bump
tower,
this up.
yes,
I follow you now, yes.
like that.
I do. So you're saying introduce
And
a
also,
larger
you might
volume.
want to lose, if you do that, normally if you see modern architecture, the elements that you're adding, the walnut elements, like, the top is very, very simple, like no cornice. So if there's a way of raising that higher, almost like a parapet, right? It comes up and there's no cornice, so
No
that
cornice.
brown walnut element
It'll be
pops.
It's a simple, clean box.
Right, with no cornice, and then the cornice dies into that, on the left-hand elevation. I think that would help the front elevation drastically. The other, I like the side elevations and the rear. Again, in a drawing, you'll never see that roof unless you're in the back, so like in a drawing, it kind of, it reads different.
You'll never see.
But the front elevation, everyone's gonna see the front elevation. So to make it not linear and just one-dimensional, because to me, it kind of reads one-dimensional. I would have some kind of element come.
Well, thank you for that suggestion. I think that's definitely something that we could probably add, to see, if we would change this composition, just to break, to your point, to break the cornice here.
All right.
So you can come up with a clean shape.
Yeah,
We can definitely consider that.
I welcome that suggestion. Because to me, when I looked at the elevation, especially this front-on elevation, which I know is not the way anyone looks at a house, ever, really.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
never see it flat, you're not, you're not standing 10 feet above the road. But when I first looked at it, what it appeared because of the cornices, it looked to me like an inside-out house, like because the crown molding is what you usually see in the inside of the home.
Of course,
rather
no,
than
of course, no, thank you.
But,
thank you.
but that would kind of fix that, that
So would
that
it
area.
suffice if we were to, just to moving forward, would it, just to recognize that we will lift the, remove the corners, just lift the wood panel, the rain screen, and just cap it with a simple parapet, just aluminum cap that's dark color, sloped aluminum, matte black or aluminum, coping, And so with
There's
that-
no intention on putting anything on this roof, correct?
Excuse me?
There's no intention of anything going on this roof later on, right?
Well, thank you. So we've had meetings. So we had different reviews, zoning board, planning board. So I'll give you a little bit of history on this. So the consensus first was to actually break the white color of the stucco and then to come up with more articulation, which is why I bumped the rain screen system. That's number one. But also we had a roof deck. So the consensus was planning board was, can we not have the roof deck? They didn't want it because it's a very tight neighborhood.
I have a big issue with that. I live in Eastchester, and architects don't think about 3 dimensions. Like, in a drawing, you don't want to be looking down at somebody. I understand
No,
you have to have a
absolutely.
balcony here and there, but when you're 22 feet above grade and you're looking down, I could look down, 1,000 feet and look at everybody's business. So, there has to be a conscious effort by any architect who designs anything to consider other homeowners' privacy.
I think the owner elected.
Besides, let's put some arborvitae's in,
Yes, of course.
because that's the whole.
So the owner elected not to have the roof deck. We removed the roof deck from
Right.
design.
Okay.
Our
Right.
first zoning board meeting actually had a roof deck full on with fireplace on top. And then at planning board, they said, do you really want it? So then Bernard said, you know what, I'll just let it go. Let's come up with a simple shed roof and just so we can all move
Okay.
on. Because we're more so concerned about the neighbors of the apartment building. I mean, they will have a full view of your roof deck. So how's that gonna affect their lifestyle?
At least you have to invite them to the party.
So, how about you, Laurel? Any comments?
I like the suggestion also of popping that front up a little higher. Cause yeah, it did kind of feel like it was like you were trying to make dimension, but it wasn't there, just with it all kind of flat. I do also, were you suggesting, to have like the front canopy also like set back a little bit where it steps back in the front, above?
Second level,
Yeah,
that continuous balcony.
yeah.
Yeah, I think something has to be done about that too. I mean,
Yeah, I
maybe,
feel like the
like,
top parts.
honestly, to me, I know you want the, because you're coming up the stair is to the far left.
Yes.
So you want to be covered if it's raining, but
That's rule.
if that roof line wasn't there at all, and you walked up the stair, that white stucco element would read vertical, and then it gets broken by the horizontal of the balcony, which is 1 French door and 1 fixed window, and then, again, the walnut goes vertical again.
I see.
You understand what I mean? Like, if you eliminated that whole,
Eliminate this?
yeah, that would, to me, that would look really nice. But again, the issue is that you're not gonna, when you come up the stairs, you're not gonna be covered.
Correct, yes. That was
The
the
rain.
primary concern they had.
Right.
They
But
don't have a
like-
mud room or anything through the garage. so
But maybe, as she suggested, instead of having the same, it comes off the house, let's say 5 feet or 6 feet, how much is
Yeah.
that projecting?
Yeah, so, no, to
Yeah,
your
maybe
point-
just push that
By-
part back a little
by
bit
a
to kind
foot or
of tie in
so.
with the top
So you have-
as well.
So you have a return now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can reduce this, we can offset by 2 feet.
So then the step back would be equal to the step back of the brown section, kind
Oh,
of?
thank you. So it could be
Yeah.
2 feet, so that's roughly about 8,
Yeah.
20 inches or so.
So
So we
the
can
whole
step
thing
it
would
back
go
20 inches.
like the
Yeah.
same?
Yeah,
You can still have the cover and still have the,
but it would just kind of break it up a little bit, yeah.
thank you, yes.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to revise that as well.
And then the only other thing, same comment that I had in the last job, I didn't see cut sheets for lighting and what you were planning to do for
I
lighting.
think I have on the elevation drawing. So at the top of the elevation drawing, you probably will see that up top there. You see the specification. We only have one sconce from Visual Comfort. That sconce is shown here. It's the Aspen outdoor wall sconce. It's the one I specified in the past. It's a really nice 30-inch tall, very elegant. It's all black matte at the,
Oh, I see it now, sorry, I didn't see it before.
it only illuminates the sides. You never have frontal illumination. It's only on the side. And the other materials are depicted up here. There's also a separate page with materials, but you can see the materials here are just called out. You have the gutters here, matte black and so on. So would it suffice to the board if we were to make this revision as per the board's suggestion to lift the volume with a raised screen system above with a clean coping, aluminum, and as well as break the cornice to the side and then provide that revision to the planning board? Would that be something that you may, the owner's been sort of begging me to see if we can move forward, that's all.
Understood, I understand. Are you okay with that, Silvio, of doing that without?
Yes, I'm surprised actually there's no neighbors here. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. All right, so we have to get their comment, his comment, but, to me, that's an
Okay.
improvement in the house, and, I don't have an issue.
Yeah, okay. All right, so then we'll open it up for the public hearing? Okay, so then I would like to open up application 25-09 for a public hearing.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All righty, and if you would like to come up, please, comments, questions, or whatever.
Matthew Persico, 84 Park Avenue. I was contacted by the architect in June. I've seen these things, and I've seen how they have been doing the work around, and I'm very happy to have the eyesore removed.
Oh,
So
the other
I
home.
don't really have any problems. The only question I have, though, honestly, you want to put something up here and break up the line?
Just to lift it up vertically a little bit, so it's the same proportion of the volume coming out horizontally.
So you're just gonna lift it up?
Not that high.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Literally, like, the cornice is, say, let's say a foot tall, is right now a foot. Eliminate the cornice and come up on maybe another foot.
Just another foot.
So it'll come up a foot overall, just that brown part.
But more so to remove the cornice, if you will, to let this breathe. This volume will breathe on its own. So
Okay.
we don't
Okay.
round it with different shapes, so thank you for that.
Okay.
I happen to agree.
And then you're gonna pull this porch back to match the jog that's in the upper one,
Yeah,
which is probably a better idea.
Yeah,
Correct.
just to create,
Are these trees elements, or are they just there for,
so these will be green giants, arborvitaes. We haven't shown it about 8 feet or so
Uh-huh.
to give you screening for
Right.
Bernard's home, so that you have enough screening.
got it,
You can have your privacy as well. The whole side will be lined with it.
okay. The only thing we have to talk about is the way that's laid out. There's the driveway, and then there's those hostas. Those hostas are actually on my side. But if you put these guys on your side, you might cut off that hole.
So we'll be very careful with the accessory.
I'm not worried about mine. You'll put them on your side, but then when you put them on your side, how much room do you have left?
So we'll have just enough 3 feet to meander around between the stairwell and the green giants.
Okay.
We'll have about 3 feet just for egress and not from the backyard to the.
Okay.
I think we'll have enough space.
The back of the house here comes out how much more than the existing back of the house?
So I'll show you, we have a drawing. So, if you. So here you are, so this is a green line, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're at 18 feet, 19 feet from the existing house.
Is that the back of the house, or is that the, or is that
This is
the,
the back. So
okay,
essentially, your house is the red line here.
Uh-huh.
This is a zoning yard setback at 25 feet.
right,
So essentially, we're going with the deck, we're going to the setback line, if you will, within the zoning setback line.
forget the deck, how about the back of the house, not the deck?
Okay, so the back of the house, I'll give you another drawing.
I'm not worried about the deck.
So the house itself, show you the,
600 feet.
I'm just trying to find the one that has the actual delta. So it's going to be, I'm just going to show you graphically. So
Right,
currently you're here, you're going to bump it out to here.
and that's how much?
So it's about 10 feet,
About 10 feet, okay,
approximately about 10 feet.
okay. The only reason I care is because right now, during the winter, my driveway is a sheet of ice because there's no sun. So I just need to figure out how much more no sun there's gonna be.
Oh,
That's
gosh,
all.
okay.
But I don't think it's avoidable, so it is what it is.
We could do a shadow study if you'd like for me to do a shadow study.
Nah, because all you're gonna do with a shadow study is say, well, if it's too much, I can move it back. Don't worry about it. I just need to know so I know what I do when I blow snow, that's all.
Buy extra salt.
You're welcome. Nice is cool. Let's get rid of,
Need
let's
extra
get rid
bag
of
of
the,
salt.
let's get rid of the eyesore.
That's always good.
That's all I got.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for coming. Any more questions or comments from the board about this application? Okay. I think that in general, the renderings, the 3D renderings are very helpful compared to just the elevations. And I think that the set that we received online didn't contain all these drawings, did it? It just-
Yeah.
It did?
Yes, all the online package was the same as the package being presented.
Okay,
Large files, it's hard to open it because there's many drawings on it.
right.
Otherwise,
So I probably didn't scroll down far enough on the online ones, but I did look at this, and and then the online ones are in color, obviously?
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
okay, all right, because I had a hard time with the, on the elevations, the vegetation, when it was in black, it was just like messy and hard to see.
We have a separate plan, which is the landscaping plan, which shows all of the species. If I have, I'll show those. Thank you, Mr. Persico. Thank you so much. Sorry. So we have a landscape plan here that shows all the species, and these are also called out on the landscape plan. So starting from the green giants here, and then you go to oak leaf hydrangeas and Abelia grandiflora, Abelia grandiflora here as well. These divisions, these are like smaller planters. So these will be essentially more of the rear yard, and the hydrangeas are the front yard, which is what I rendered at the front yard as well to show that that's what you'll be greeted with the hydrangeas. And so that was sort of what we discussed with Bernard as well. He wanted to have that landscape design.
So on the brown section in the front now, if you raise that up a little bit, it won't be one piece probably, right? You'll
So-
still be limited by the 10-foot.
So thank you, yes, so thank you for bringing that up. So what we will most likely have to come up with, maybe at the base.
At
if
the
you will,
bottom, you'll never see it.
You never see maybe 2 feet at the bottom, then we have a 1-inch, I guess if you will, black felt line.
Yeah.
Do you actually know the dimension from the deck to the soffit right now?
I think
Listen.
we're at 12 feet at that juncture right now. Could be more, but I think we're about 12 feet.
Okay.
Because we really tried to keep this roof really low. As you can see on this view here, this is actually, and we were asked the same at the planning board, and because the house is a bit, different, so at least we didn't want to pronounce the house so much. So we kept it as low as we can. So I think we may be able to get away with maybe 12.5 feet as it is now. So if we add
You-
another 2 feet,
You're
it's
gonna have a natural joint over the heads of the windows and doors anyway.
most likely, yes.
So you might want that to be the seam and not the seam at, 2 foot off the,
Correct, so we may have a line here. This will be the joint here, so sort of, at least the
Yeah.
headers are all aligned throughout the project. So we have the same window height everywhere, even the kitchen windows have the same window height. So our eye can pick up the same line throughout the house.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. Okay. So,
Okay.
let me get my little,
And thank you for your review of an unusual home, and I appreciate the effort. And we definitely propose something that's slightly different here. So we appreciate the comments. We definitely, Bernard was ready for, many comments as well, as many as you can come up with, because he likes modernism. So I happen to appreciate it as well, so he said to me, and we're actually friends, I've known him for 20 years. So he hired me to design his house, basically, that's the relationship we have here. And his wife, as well, she was part of the design as well.
okay. So,
So we'll just close the
Close
public hearing. Yep.
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing on application 25-09.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty. And then,
So I've tried to phrase the two conditions, and you can tell me if I succeeded or if it needs to be modified, okay? So the first, so if you were to consider a motion to recommend approval of the proposed architecture, the first comment would be to raise the height of the portion of the front elevation with wood cladding by approximately 1 foot and remove the cornice from that part of the facade and cap with a simple parapet. Okay? And then the second modification would be to modify the front balcony to step the balcony back in the stucco portion of the front facade equal to the step back of the stucco portion of the front facade from the wood-clad portion of the facade.
correct.
Okay.
So, I'd like to make a motion to refer application 25-09, located at 80 Park Avenue, to the planning board with a recommendation to approve with the aforementioned
Modifications, yeah.
alterations, modifications.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Righty.
Thank you so much.
Good luck in your new home.
Thank you.
And next up on our agenda this evening is application 25-58, which is located at 2 Howell Place. Oh my, this is. Okay, thank you.
Alrighty. Good evening, Board. My name is Adamo Majorano from Community Designs and Engineering. On behalf of the applicant, Dave Hannon, we are proposing a new single-family dwelling at 2 Howell Place. The property is situated in the R6 zoning district. It's a vacant lot right now. There's just a few trees and just vegetation. It's basically, it's a corner lot, so it's on the corner of Howell and Highland. Just walk up to the site. So the site has basically a gradual slope, as you see from, I guess, out from Howell Place back. So it's basically from the east to the west is the slope of the property that goes back, lower at Howell and then higher towards the back. So in our overall site planning, we figured, the best location to situate the house was obviously facing Howell Place and not Highland because of really safety reasons. Highland Avenue is a sometimes busy street and, fast-paced cars moving. So we wanted to create the front of the house and driveway entrance basically on Howell Place. So what we did was sort of dug into that sort of topography to create the driveway that goes into a 2-car garage that's situated in the basement level. I'll just go to the plans. So basically in the overall design, you come into the garage and then you come up a level to the first floor, which is very much at grade on most of the sides of the elevation, the back and the south side. And then the south side is where, basically, if you're looking at the house on the left side, is where the patio would be and your entry out of the side, because the sort of back elevation, back house setback is a lot less there. So there's really just the kitchen and living space and all that, and then your, typical bedrooms on the second floor. If we go to elevations. So in elevation, again, facing Howell Place, our front elevation, the materials throughout, basically you have a hardy plank siding. It's in a gray color. You have AZAC trim, white AZAC trim flanking the windows and all the soffits, crown molding detail, underneath the soffits and at the front portico. The front portico will be clad, all in AZAC columns. The windows are Anderson 400 series windows. They're simulated divided light 4/1 grid pattern. The shutters are just composite black shutters, and those will basically go the front Howell Place elevation and on Highland, because it is a corner lot. We try to situate the windows so that the windows can also have shutters on that side, because a lot of times you look at the house from a corner perspective. The roof, we hip all the roofs, basically the front, back, and side, really just to bring the scale of the house down, but then gave it some aesthetic accents with gables in the front to dress up the front. The roof is just a standard black charcoal color asphalt shingle roof. As far as clopay, the garage doors are basically as depicted as you see there. There's a little accent, extends about 2 feet, just to give a little coverage over the garage door and a little detail with a roof over that area. A black metal railing at the front sort of portico, and then there's a side staircase that goes down to the driveway level. The only really difference in material mainly is, yes, you have stucco on the bottom, and then the chimney will just be a brick, sort of a light gray brick color, as you see in the sample. I go to landscaping. So landscaping design, this was done by landscape architect Robert Tramontano. So to go back to the site, there are 2 large trees right along the front property line that we're proposing to be removed. So we have 2 replacement cherry trees, somewhat in similar, location as those other trees. And then obviously the entire house will have moderate landscaping all around it. We have decorative plants along the front, flowering shrubs along the foundation on all 3 sides, and then evergreens really along the back, the west side of the property, and then also facing Highland, we have some evergreens and then hydrangeas to sort of give it some color and whatnot, because there is an existing tree that will remain that's on the corner of the property, basically right on the corner of Howell and Highland Avenue. Just to go back to then touch back on just the site, obviously we did do stormwater mitigation, so obviously all of the new impervious area will be captured on site with underground storage tanks that are basically on the north side and south side of the property.
The site is the property, the lot configuration is a little strange. Was it carved out after that other home was?
I think that's what's originally happened. There was maybe one very large property, and the existing home here that's facing, 109 Highland, no, not 109, 124 Highland. Now it's a separate vacant building lot next to it. So that's why you have that, kind of funny carved out site. It's 6,000 square feet is the minimum lot size. This is just a little bit over it at 6225. Just to go back, so streetscape again, it's pretty straightforward. To the right, there's no house because it's Highland Avenue, but to the left, similar sort of condition. They have, the driveway, retaining walls on each side carved into the garage underneath. In ours, what's nice with the topography is the retaining walls won't have to be that tall. To the right side, it's only like 2.5 feet, so obviously snow removal and all that will be a little easier to sort of get done. And then the left side is only the staircase. After that is just basic curbing.
On A2, the elevations,
Sure.
where the front elevation meets the right side elevation, that corner,
Sure.
is there a gutter missing, or am I?
No, so because this breaks it up, we're trying to, the gutter's gonna go all the way to that back corner. So if you look in the site plan, it shows exactly where the leaders will fall. So that leader will go into a set of Coltech units right here. And then this leader switches and goes to the left side of the portico right there, and that goes to the left side of the house.
Okay,
So no
there will
Because the
no
run
leader
is-
needed there.
Exactly, yeah, because it's a
Okay.
pretty short run.
That's kind of
because-
like the high point of the,
Exactly. The gable breaks it up, so the only stretch is just this side.
okay.
So I didn't want to bring it at a lower level and bring it back around.
And the windows on the office, which is on the ground floor, well, the first floor, the office playroom, are they, like, if that were to be made into a main floor bedroom, are they egress?
It's not, well, the first floor has to be 5 square, but it's not, there's no intention of making a bedroom.
I know, but if for some reason it was, it could be, you know, like if some,
It could be, yeah.
are they okay for that? The
You're talking about
windows?
the-
I'd
Are you
have
talking about
to
the
look-
rear elevation, the two small casements, these?
No, in the front,
The
first floor plan,
These two?
office playroom?
yes,
Well, the
these-
3 of them really, or whatever, you know,
The
some
front
of them
one-
have to be.
They can be, yes,
They
actually.
can be,
Because they're
okay.
taller than what,
Those
you
look
know,
like
you
they're-
need.
Never know when somebody needs a bedroom on the ground floor
No,
for
yes,
whatever
yeah, yeah.
reason. You know, to be able to have that, like one floor living, kind of like, if all of a sudden somebody's grandmother
No,
moves in.
yeah, totally.
um,
Although, still
or-
have to
or-
get
or
up to that
accessory-
level. but
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
My one comment about the windows is that I feel like you have a pretty repetitious pattern of 2 windows, 4 over 1, except for these 3 narrow ones that are in the front together. To me, that feels a little just different and maybe a little awkward compared to the rest of them.
Is that a bay
Wi-
window?
It's basically like a
Is it a
bay.
bay?
To give it a,
Okay, I
exactly.
wasn't
So
getting that
It does,
So they angle, the side ones angle?
No, it's a.
no,
it's
no,
straight.
it's not a bay, it's straight, but it jumps
Yeah.
out like about like
Okay,
6
well, I
inches.
guess it's still kind of the 3 compared to
The
having
roof.
2 everywhere else. That's,
I mean, we've done it before in a few houses in town. It gives it a nice little decorative thing. I wanted to give it some roof. That's why we have that little roof detail to go with, you know, sort of like down from the garage. This sort of mimics that sort of same detail with the roof, but, I mean, yeah, it gives that room a little accent of a, you know, detail inside the room as well, having like a little bay bump out instead of just your normal.
yeah, no, I think the pop out is fine. I guess it was just more the fact that there were 3 of them.
Yeah, so you see there, it comes out a foot.
Yeah.
So it's like a little windowsill.
And then, in the front, I know that I was looking at the site plan, it's obviously you're pretty tight with the entryway, but the stairs up, like, feel very circuitous and
It's
just,
the only,
the front kind of looks a little awkward with the stairs going away from, the visible stairs going away from the
in real,
driveway. I don't know if
yeah.
there's any way you can
there, I've
angle
looked
it, or
at-
if you've already
I've
looked at
looked-
that.
Yeah, it would be a sort of funny sort of situation, because of the depth, we have to obviously
It's like
be-
tight to the property line, you
e-
don't have much
ex-
room.
Exactly, it's the only way to scissor, but in real life, yeah, it somewhat doesn't look that, because you're not really looking at it like drawing, oh, look at the staircase go, you kind of see that other staircase and a little bit of a unilock wall there, but it really is the only way to get the difference in grade up, because then like, no matter what, it'll go.
Yeah, the only
in
other way to
when-
do it would be to go into the right of way, which I don't think you can
Exactly.
do.
I'm still trying to even stay a little bit out of there too.
And typically, the homeowner would probably go through the garage, right?
Yes, yeah. Then, yeah, lighting is just, yeah, a little hanging light over the portico, and then the side door has 2 sconces on each side.
And then what are you making the retaining walls out of?
That's a unilock wall. It's
unilock?
basically like a gray finish to match, I think in the, where is it, the site details has, I Yeah, it's just the onyx natural, it's almost like a stucco looking. They're pretty, not super tall because we can only create a very shallow slope with the driveway, so by the time it slopes up about 1.5 feet or so, the wall is only like 2.5 feet on that side.
Okay.
And then the property slopes up as well. So it sort of matches the finished colors of the house as well.
I see in the site plan, you have the AC unit in the back, so that shouldn't be a problem, right, with anybody?
Oh, yeah, and those will be the condensers, you said, sorry? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's in that little, because the house with the angled setback, the house also, setbacks in, so.
Jigs and jags. Zigs and
Exactly,
zags.
so it's nice that it's in a little niche and then there's evergreens around it, so it'll be nicely hit. I was also evergreens along the property line, 4 to 5 feet, but then also screening on the AC units as well.
They're getting smaller and smaller anyway, right?
What's that?
They're getting smaller and smaller.
Oh, no, yes, yeah,
They're not
that's
getting
true.
so.
Although, we do have usually they're like, R5, you have 8 foot, here we have a little over 10 foot, so we got, especially with that niche, there's plenty of room to fit screening, planting, and the AC units.
Silvio, anything? Any questions or comments?
No.
Okay, so then, open public hearing. I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing on application 25-58, 2 Howell Place. Is there anyone here that wants to make a comment or question regarding this application? Please.
While she comes to the mic, we just get a second and a vote on the motion.
I'm sorry.
A second and a motion on the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Thanks.
Aye.
Sorry about that. Name and address, please.
Hello, I'm Kristen Versace, and I live at 1 Howell Place. Hello. 1 Howell Place is the house that's right across the street from this house. It's also a corner lot. And there are a total of 5 houses on Howell Place. This will be the 6th. And 3 of those 5 houses are here today, and you'll be hearing from Nick and Nancy also. The other 2 couldn't make it, but we were only given 3 days' notice for this meeting, so we just couldn't get the other 2 people here, but they'll be here next time. I want to start with something that maybe is the most important thing, which is that our comments are about the house, not the people. We are a very friendly group on Howell Place, and we have every intention of befriending our new neighbors whenever they show up, and this is really just about the house. The biggest concern that we have is the 15-foot setback. All of our houses are 30 feet setback from Howell Place, including mine, which is also a corner. And so this house is going to jut toward the street quite a bit relative to the line of our houses. We know that there's other examples of this elsewhere in the vicinity, but the closest example is really mine, and mine, again, is the 30 feet. So all of us feel concerned about the way it's going to look jutting out relative to ours.
Did you say 15 feet?
Yeah, theirs is going to be 15, the rest of ours is 30, from Howell Place.
I thought it was 19.5. Am I reading this?
There's a dimension on here, this is 14'1" here, actually.
Okay,
It's a secondary front, so yeah, the one part that's the furthest is 15 feet, which is, is code is 14 feet is what you're allowed on a secondary front.
okay. Okay,
Because it's a corner lot.
okay, so you're talking about Highland, not,
No,
Right.
Howell.
Adamo, if you could just also use a microphone, thank you.
maybe you can help answer the,
There's two front.
okay,
Just to go over the setbacks, yeah.
yes,
So,
please.
where are we? Okay. So yeah, so our primary front is Highland, which is 30 feet, but the house is really like about 32 feet. And then your secondary front is, you're allowed 14 feet. So we're at, I actually 14 feet at the like living room area, and then here it jogs about 2 feet, so we're at like 16 feet. So, yeah, we're at the, zoning compliant, but it's just what happens with corner lots is, to move the house in, then you basically won't have,
House.
a house almost, so.
So then, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name? Kristen, so your home is at
It-
the
yeah, so-
opposite on,
which is
okay,
residential.
Yeah, so,
It's the street that you think is the front of the house.
right, okay.
yeah, you're right here. So this is facing Howell, and then this is the side facing Highland Avenue, yep. Yeah.
So basically, on Howell Place.
Sorry, if you could just use the mic.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So Howell Place, which is the street that people will think of as the front of the house, even though technically in your books it isn't named that way, but that's how it looks visually, and that's where the driveway is, and that's where the front door is. All of our houses are 30 feet back. This one will be 15. Am I correct? Roughly. It sounds like it's articulated, so maybe 15 feet here.
Right.
You know what I'm
Around
saying?
15, let's just round it off to
Yeah.
15.
So that's the concern we have,
Okay.
the primary concern we have with it. Now, and for that reason, we all think that the lot is just not big enough for a house, but if there does have to be a house there, we'd like to counter that with making it like good quality materials and also attractive looking. So when I say that, I mean quality shutters, siding, decorative windows, trim, exterior lighting fixtures, stonework, landscaping, things that will make it look nice and also be good quality to kind of like compensate for the fact that really this is going to be too close to the street in our opinion. And we have all these things in our house. So I want to say that there's a lot about this design that actually is what I've described. I like those articulated facades. I like the three gables. I like the portico. I like the bay window. And I like the design of the garage door, which is not just an ugly garage door. It has like an aesthetic appeal to it. So we would like to see as much of that sort of thing as possible on the facades. Now, another point that we'd like to make is about drainage. There's something that you should know that if you don't, and you should know also if you don't, which is that we have a big water problem on Howell Place in our basements. So once or twice a year, I'm downstairs in the basement when it's raining hard with my husband and my son with the shop vacs and the hoses and the siphons and the mops fighting the rain as it's pouring into our floor. And we don't want that to be made worse by virtue of this construction. Now, I assume that whatever the dry well sizes that have been specified are to code. I'm sure
Yes,
they are.
so this board won't be looking at the stormwater management system, that they're
Okay.
just looking at the architecture of the home. The planning board will review the whole site plan, including the stormwater management system, and this application was referred to our town's consulting civil engineer, who also will review in detail the proposed stormwater system.
Okay, so we're gonna come back for that, like at that meeting, but just to wrap it up, their house is higher on the hill, so all that water is gonna come down to us and our neighbors, and so we're gonna be requesting, for your knowledge, we're gonna be requesting you to ramp up the dry wells, even beyond the code. That's what we're going to ask, in order to counter, and make it better for you too. Okay, so this, you might say this is out of scope too, but it has to do with the construction itself and the parking of the construction vehicles and the like. Is that scope for this meeting or the next one?
When we talk about the actual construction, usually before construction takes place, we'll have a meeting with the building department staff, perhaps the highway department, to talk about sequencing. That's not usually, the sequencing of construction is usually not something that the land use boards get into.
Okay, well then that is my final comment.
And just to address
Oh, yeah.
one thing that you were saying about the water management, just as an aside, I know that's not our purview really, but in general, new construction and the code that is in effect now, what will be going there will take care of that issue way more than your houses ever did. So what they build
And-
there, their code is way better than what you have. So it's not gonna, and it's made to contain whatever water falls there, stays there. Whereas yours may not have been, or the rest of the block, whatever it is. So it should improve the situation, not make it worse.
I hope that's true. I'll say two things. We've had 2 renovations, so our tanks are up to the current code. And also, I understand that the town computes the size of the dry wells based on 100 years worth of 8-inch watermark or something.
Right, based
And
on the
we think that
100-year
that's
storm.
just outdated.
It's not.
That is what the
it's not-
engineering manuals provide for.
I know, and that's why we're gonna ask for more than that, because we just don't think it's working.
Well,
there's,
okay.
I have a couple comments.
yeah.
The reason, well, all the houses on Howell, I know Howell very well. The reason why there's a lot of water on Howell is because Highland is pitched down, and Howell is high in the back, so where the golf course is, so that water runs down too. So you're actually the low spot of Howell, your house. A new construction home, compared to your homes that are built, I don't know, let's say 50 years ago, have probably 10 times the amount of dry wells and calculations than your house had.
Even if
So
you've
unless
had
If you
renovations,
did
it's not like they
a
bring
large
up.
renovation, I'm not how many sure whoever designed it put in dry wells as well, but if that addition was done, let's say, 10 years ago, the dry wells are probably 50% more now. As a vacant lot, right now, if it rains a lot, the water's gonna sheet off the grass, let's say, come down Howell, and unfortunately go to your house, because I know where your house is. Putting a new house, actually, because all the drywall, the roof drainage, the patios, the driveway, all like, for example, the driveway, it's gonna go to a linear trench drain, correct? So that water doesn't hit Howell. It stops at that linear drain, which goes underground on the property. That's the code. So this should be 100%, building anything that has dry walls will improve water drastically. Again, I know everybody wants, the beautiful house on their block, because every house on Howell is unique and beautiful. You don't want a vinyl-sided house. I know that. All the materials that he chose,
Yes, the material board.
all the materials he chose are just as nice as all the materials on Howell, for example. He's using AZAC, he's using Hardy Plank, not vinyl. He's using probably an Anderson 400 series window. The shutters, I'm not really sure if they're composite or vinyl. I'm doubting they're putting vinyl. They're probably gonna put a solid composite that reads like wood. So I mean, aesthetically, I think it kind of blends with Howell. And water, I don't think is an issue. I think the water issue on Howell is nothing concerned of that property. It's the way the street is, Highland and Howell.
Yeah.
How it sheets down. And
You may also have just a groundwater problem, which is different than capturing the surface runoff that they're doing here with the Cultex. The Cultex he's right, this is actually going to improve what's going on, because right now, all the water is landing on this lot, it's running off, albeit slower than if grass slows things down more than impervious surface does, but all the water that's hitting the impervious surface is getting captured in the Cultex, whereas before, it was going to be just running off the property towards your house. So it is going to be an improvement compared to what's going on right now, not creating a bigger problem.
Okay. So I hope you guys are right, and we're basically counting on you to be right, because I don't have the knowledge that you have. I'm letting you know of a situation, but and we're counting on you to make sure that this doesn't
I'm
get
not
worse.
sure. Dry wells are based on a perk test. So they dig a hole, and every property, even yours and the house down the block, might have a different perk. So water's poured into a hole, and they time how fast that water gets absorbed by the soil. So if you have a good soil that absorbs water, there's less dry wells, for example. So I looked at the dry wells briefly, but there's like at least 10 dry wells in this job site?
They're 12, yeah.
12. So there's a lot of dry wells in the site, and each dry well holds what? 360 gallons or something to that effect?
This type is like 86 cubic feet or something. They're pretty big. Yeah, yep.
Well,
And,
I hope
and then the
that
I'm sorry.
This is, by the way, there is a whole site plan and drainage plan designed here. If you go and look at the drawings, it's SP1.
Yeah, but I don't have the knowledge you have. I'm here to tell you a situation, and I'm counting on you guys to kind of get it right. And it sounds like you might already know.
Well, we,
I mean, the main,
Right.
obviously the main.
We're the architectural review board. I think this is more planning board.
Right, and our consulting engineer witnessed that perk test and has reviewed the plans in detail. And he will issue a memorandum for the planning board, and he'll be at the planning board meeting, so if you have questions then, he could be there to respond to them as well.
Yeah. I will say that experts have told us that there is a underwater like a water flow
Stream?
underneath our,
Yeah,
yes, a
groundwater
stream
stream.
underneath our houses. So if you didn't know that, you should know that. That's it from me.
okay.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Hi, I'm Nick Katsouris. I'm in the house directly next door to Howell Place. We've been here for 22 years, and I agree pretty much with everything Kristen said, you know, that we also want to be friends with the new neighbors. It's a great block. We've been there over 20 years. We're friends with everybody. We also have had water issues over the years, and we're on the high end of the street, just for information. The main concern that we have that Kristen brought up is because the house is going to be so close, you know, twice as close as the other houses, because we are all set back 30 feet. I just wanted to know about the side of the house. So if you're going down and you're coming back down towards Highland Avenue, you're going to see that side part of the house, which is going to be very set forth. So is there going to be like trees there, and what is the set? I mean, I haven't looked at the plans.
The
What is the
left side
setback there?
elevation, would that be?
Highland? The elevation facing
This
Highland.
side, yeah, so you're
No,
20
the,
25 feet
Oh,
away. Oh, you're
facing
here,
his
so
home.
25 feet
Facing-
away from your
yeah.
house.
That juts
Yeah,
out
exactly.
of the
So
front
yeah,
yard
the good thing is
a
for
bit
you,
more
there's a pretty extensive,
than
because
his
technically
does.
this is the back setback. So instead of it being like, you
I'm
know,
assuming
technically
that
the
this
house
is
be
his
like
house.
8 or 9 feet, or no, I'm sorry, R6 is
Well,
10
he's
feet.
talking
Instead of
about
being 10
this
feet, it's
over
25
here.
feet away from you. So it gives you a nice buffer between your 10 and this 25 is 35 feet. The other good thing is,
And are there gonna be trees there?
there is, so these existing cedars and trees that are here now are proposed to be, to remain, and then,
So all the trees on the side between the two houses?
yes, yeah, these will stay, and then they're actually they're doing some infill, because there's some bare spots, so they are planting some plants. See, these three here are new plants as well.
So it'll shield the side of
A
the
little
house
bit more,
from the view?
exactly, yep.
All right, that was my only.
Yeah, the landscape plan shows that too.
Yeah. I mean, that's essentially their backyard, so they're gonna want privacy
Yeah.
too. Or their usable yard, I should say.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Nancy Heffernan. I live at 3 Howell. I am the red brick house that's catty corner from this property. I want to reiterate everything that Kristen and Nick said about our concerns with the water and the setbacks, et cetera. First, I want to address, Laura, you mentioned about the configuration, how the lot looks like the house is being squeezed in. Just for history, I've been there 23 years, and I think it was 2007 when the prior owner appealed to the zoning board to divide the property, and the Eastchester zoning board denied it. She then appealed to the next court, which I guess is the county, and they overturned the zoning board's decision
To divide the lot?
to divide this lot. So this was a side yard to the Highland Avenue house.
Mm-hmm.
So that was disappointing because we thought there would never be anything built there. But we're in this position now, and I used to be on the environmental committee in the town, and I regret now not pushing for a tree ordinance because there are two enormous 75-year-old maple trees on their property that are spectacular. And as we know, there's not a lot of those big old trees in this town anymore. But from the renderings, those trees are going to have to come down to put that house, configure it. There is one tree on the very corner that we're hoping that will remain, and that the root system wouldn't be, completely ripped up, and that one would also have to come out, because it will change the look of our street with these trees coming down.
It looks like that one is staying, the corner one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's marked as a 24-inch tree on the landscape plan, and it's also a town tree, so it's like that would have to be approved by the town of Eastchester to have it removed.
Okay, and the root system should be fine then with the building, right? Yeah, okay. All right, those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. The other thing that I just wanted to mention with regards to your comments, I'm not sure if you guys were at the zoning at all? Did you attend the zoning meetings?
No, yeah, so this application doesn't require any approvals from the zoning board because it's zoning compliant. It
Okay.
has appeared for a preliminary review before the planning board. That occurred at its September meeting. And after your board makes a recommendation, it will go back to the planning board for a public hearing.
Okay, okay. I'm confusing it with the other application because there were variances on that. This doesn't even have any variances. Correct, okay. But if there are variances, that's where you go to work them out. And sometimes, it's like you don't realize it until it's done and over with. But there were none, so.
It was fought and won years and years ago in the proceeding that Nancy told you about.
As far as,
For the subdivision to create the lot,
So
right?
they're referring to the subdivision
Right.
of the property years ago, nothing to do with this.
okay.
Yeah. Saying that the subdivision had a variance, nothing to do with this project. It was when they subdivided with the house on Highland.
Right, and now
What
it
was the
just
what was the
has to
variance?
go by the setback, normal setbacks, and there are no variances needed for that.
Should we ask that?
It may be for the other lot.
What was the variance on the subdivision?
I don't know exactly, I mean,
'Cause, I understand all the things, I know the main thing to me, for you guys, is the 15-foot compared to the 25 to 30. But unfortunately, that's why I just asked, was there any variances, and there's no variances. So basically, on a corner lot, unfortunately, you have two fronts. One, so you could choose which front has the more depth. It's almost like a side yard, but it's not. But in that case, it is, because actually the street behind Howell, I'm not sure of the name of the street, but that corner house is the same situation, right?
Yes,
It's
exactly.
close to the street.
Actually, so good that you bring that up. That's even actually more drastic because there's a very limited right-of-way. What's good about Howell is you have like almost a 12-foot, maybe a little bit more right-of-way. So at least, yes, the house is 14, call it 15 feet, even 16 feet there from the property line, but then another 12, 13 feet from the actual street. So that helps a little bit.
So you have
but-
like,
Yeah,
almost,
it's-
you have 20-something to the
Yes,
curb.
to the curb.
Okay.
But yes, the other homes, I mean, I could check back zoning and see what that house is. I think it's a little bit further than the
Yeah,
30,
'cause
maybe the
actually
25. They still
that-
have the
that-
right of way, but at least it's not 12 feet
But
from
you
the
don't
street.
have, on that drawing, you don't show the right-of-way, right?
Oh, yeah, it's right here.
Oh, yeah, that line down there is the line.
This is the actual street.
Yeah, it's like, if you look at that quick, you think like, it's right on, it's drawn on the property line, but there's another, 10 feet?
Yeah, no, like 12, 13
Oh,
feet
12?
almost, yeah.
But the one over on Barbara, that's not really the right one to think about anyway, because mine is right across the street.
Yeah, but your house is a very large lot, am I wrong? You have
Yeah,
a big
it's
lot,
massive.
and also your house was built, so like, when somebody designed your house way back when, it was a large lot, so they said, oh, let's give 20, 30 feet and 30 feet, but in actuality, you could have did that. Well, right, but your lot's also twice as big. I know, that's the problem. I mean, so the main issue is, and believe me, like,
Feel your pain.
zoning and variances but unfortunately, this has no variances and it meets all the criteria. So, I mean, they have the right to build the house there.
I get it,
That's hopefully why I'm
Well,
here.
I think, I mean, I think all the finishes are, you know, up to par to the houses on Howell. They're not, you know, it's not like it's not like vinyl replacement windows, not vinyl siding, it's, I mean, there's thought going into it. Again, also, we can't, I mean, we, as a board, we want the house to look the nicest as possible, no matter where it is. But also, we can't dictate, because obviously, materials, is money. So when you start saying, I want the best materials possible, then the house goes up $300,000, then the homeowner can't build it, for example. So you kind of have, there's a happy medium. And I think this, I mean, some of the houses on your block, I know there's, I think there's a stone one, there's a brick one. You also, I think, like a cedar siding maybe, on the corner, your house? Ours is hardy board, is that? Yeah, yeah, that's what this is, hardy board.
The existing is different than, I guess, the addition is hardy board, yeah. But so, yeah, it's the same material as your home. Again, you know, I try to, I mean, I live in town too, but I try to make a house that obviously fits the neighborhood and not like, oh my God, you know, look at this thing. So it does have characteristics of homes on that block, again, sharing characteristics of your house with the gables, trying to make, you know, more gables and more decorative details on the front, and also thinking that, hey, it's not just the front facing Howell, but dress up the side as well, so that, you know, there's proportions and symmetry and all that. So it looks like, hey, this can be like a front elevation as well. Now that you see some homes, like the secondary front that faces a street is sort of a very not even thought about elevation, whereas this, we try to think of, you know, that elevation, even though maybe the windows are not perfectly lined up inside, more importantly, make it lined up outside, so aesthetically it reads nicer.
Sorry, if you wouldn't mind just using the microphone. Oh. We do a transcript of the meeting, and so the microphone is to pick up the comments for that transcript.
So, yeah, so on this drawing, the chimney looks white, but you said something earlier.
Yeah. So it's like a light gray, actually here, she has the materials, you can see it, but, so it kind of accents the siding, but this is the brick there. So it's like, yeah, right there.
Okay, so it's brick, okay.
Yeah.
It's not, yeah, I mean, got it.
Okay.
And also, I think that it's worth mentioning that, both to the homeowners and to the neighborhood, that with community designs, you're in good hands, okay? They don't present garbage. They present really nice things in the town, and I've seen a lot of their stuff built, and I'm always, like, just pleased with the results, and not just the drawings. They're presented nicely, but I'm pleased with the results as well. So it means something.
Yeah, well, that's why we're here. We're architectural review board. I mean, it's all about the materials and the finishes and the way the house looks. And I'm an architect and a builder, so I'm to the extreme, like that. I know that if I could say, I'll be the first to say something, as you saw from the previous meeting, the previous applicant. You know, so if the material I think is subpar, I would 100% say it. It might come up that the architect or the owner says, well, you know, that would be great if we had an extra $500,000 to do that. Like, we want the roof to be slate, for example. You know, it's impossible because the dollar value compared to slate and asphalt is, you know, $100,000 for a roof. So it's just like, again, Adamo comes in front of this board six times a year at least. So like we kind of know his work, and he thinks about everything. The unfortunate thing again is the setback. I know that's what really dictates everything, but you know it's a buildable lot. If there was like 20 variances to put this house on, I would be 100% like understand. But there's like, you know, it's hard to fight when it's
To code,
yeah. That's the problem,
essentially.
unless codes change.
Did you want to say something?
Good evening. I just wanted to introduce myself to the board and to the neighbors. My name's David Hannon. This is my wife, Heather. We're hoping to build a family for our home on the lot. We have 3 young children, 6, 3, and 2. You know, the town of Eastchester is fantastic. Me and my wife are both very familiar with it. My wife's 2 sisters, they're raising their families here. My uncle's also raising his family with many friends, so yeah, to be honest, it's it's exciting for us. It's really looking forward to it being part of the community, being good neighbors. We're open to any communication and going forward, obviously. And again, just wanted to say hello.
Thank you. All righty, so, where's my little? Were there any other, things that we needed to go onto the planning board, or there was nothing that needed to be passed along,
No,
right?
so far, I don't have any comments.
Anyone, nothing else? Okay. So, I'd like to make a motion to refer application 25-58, located at 2 Howell Place, to the planning board with a recommendation to approve as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And then I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the October 2nd, 2025 ARB meeting.
Did we close the public hearing?
Yes.
Oh, okay, sorry. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Good night, Eastchester.